Good morning and welcome to Monday Morning Thoughts. I hope you're all well this morning. My subject today is, what is a career coach and what does it do? What does a career coach do? And what is an emotional wellbeing career coach? Well, this is a question I get asked a lot, especially from people who've never perhaps accessed coaching or used coaching before. And essentially, it's when work isn't working for you. You want to change your circumstances. Some of my clients will have a clear goal of where they want to go. Others will need support to explore what that might be. But the fundamental issue that they have is they feel that they can't move forward and other avenues of support aren't working for them. It isn't always about moving organisations or finding a new role. It might be about navigating a particular situation. So, what do I do? I think one of the most important things I do is listen and acknowledge where you are, your thoughts and your feelings. When did someone last listen to you and not judge you, or you felt that, they came back so quickly with their thoughts that perhaps, what you were feeling wasn't really acknowledged? I also offer you the space to be open and vulnerable. There is the surface level stuff that's going on, and then there's what's really going on. And that's where our feelings and our emotions come into play. And that's where the emotional well-being part of what I do sort of kicks in. Because a lot of our thoughts and our emotions are, in our heads. There's the thoughts that we have about ourselves. And even when other people say, oh, you're fantastic, you just move a new job, or, you've got this cracked, just go and do it. There's part of you that feels that you can't. And it can be really hard to navigate that. I also pose questions to you that will offer new insights into who you are and your abilities. I'm just thinking, when was the last time that you really felt that you could openly celebrate something that you'd done and you were really pleased with? I've got a really good idea that was probably when you were a child, that you would jump up and down with glee and go, yes, I did it. I was so pleased, really feel good about that. But something happens as we get older and that changes. And there's a whole different conversation behind that I won't go into today because of time. But the long and the short of it is that you only feel that you can celebrate the really big things, those things that you perhaps put on the top shelf, your equivalent that's really hard, that's difficult, that's your Olympics, your marathon, your version of climbing Mount Everest. And they're the only things you think are achievements. Yeah, I bet some of you recognise that. But there are lots of people who see what you do every day and go, God, I wish I could do that. Or I don't know how she does that. Or if only I could. And we recognise none of that whatsoever. And we don't own any of it. So through the coaching process, which involves questions, some self-reflective exercises, you become far more aware of that and you own it. And that is really important. I help you uncover your uniqueness, what makes you you, what makes you tick, your strengths, your motivators, the things that drive you. And they're all anchors that you can use in all parts of your working life. They're an internal compass that you can use. But what it helps you do is achieve a different level of confidence and how you manage situations that are in front of you. And you stop comparing and you start moving forward. And that's the whole point of coaching, is to enable you to move forward from where you are now. The other thing is, because of my background and the experience that I've had prior to becoming a coach, I bring insights from my career into the art of navigating organisations, the skills and art of CV writing and preparing and managing interview situations and potentially offer situations. But the thing is, when you know what makes you tick, when you understand yourself more and actually own who you are, your unique amazingness, those things become much easier. It's amazing how people go from CV freeze or not knowing what to say into interview to completely flipping around that situation because they own who they are. It's actually a pleasure. And I'm always feel amazed when that happens with somebody. But I don't want you to take my word for how I work. I'm going to read out some feedback I got from a client recently, just to give you an insight into the impact it does have on my clients. So here we go. Excuse me for looking down. I felt extremely supported during my sessions with Tina, who created a space where I felt that I was able to be completely open and vulnerable. In many ways, Tina helped to pick me up at a time when I was feeling very overwhelmed and stuck in my current role. However, rather than simply offering sympathetic words and suggested solutions, although Tina is definitely empathetic and gives really useful and practical advice, she empowered me to explore and draw on my own problem-solving skills by asking thoughtful, probing questions. This in turn gave me a renewed new sense of confidence, which I've been able to take forward into my professional and personal life. My experience with Tina was the first time I'd enrolled in any kind of professional paid-for coaching, and it was absolutely worth it. I'd definitely consider working with Tina in the future. In the meantime, I'm enjoying putting into practice many of the skills, knowledge and insights about my values and what motivates me as I look into new career opportunities, while at the same time also improving my current work situation. I was so overwhelmed when I received this feedback, but I didn't actually need, in some circumstances, to see all that written down. Because when this particular client emailed me a couple of times, I could see in the words that she used, in the way that she articulated her situation and how she was moving forward, that things had shifted, things had changed in her and how she was approaching her current circumstances. So, for those of you who do want to find out how to work with me, then, just email. Let's arrange a time to have a call or a Zoom and let me know your situation. I'll let you know how I work, and there might be a possibility of working together. But there are loads of coaches out there, not just me. And the most important part of a coaching scenario is the relationship between two individuals. It's a partnership, it's a collaboration, and that doesn't work if the relationship's not there. So I'm going to leave you also with a quote that I just absolutely love this week from a, it's actually from a film, The Wizard of Oz, by Glinda. And it says, "You've always had the power, my dear. You just have to learn it for yourself." And I think that sums up to some extent what happens during coaching. Enjoy your week.